Let me back in, or the war continues. According to explosive reports, that is the silent ultimatum Prince Harry effectively delivered to King Charles this week. The Duke of Sussex has reportedly issued a pledge. He will stop launching new legal actions against the UK press, but only on one condition: he must be allowed to return to royal duties. He calls it a concession. The palace calls it blackmail. Harry believes he is offering an olive branch. But inside the palace, the king isn't looking at a peace treaty. He is looking at a crime scene. Breaking news from the High Court has shattered Harry's plan. His own legal team, the shadow machine he built to destroy the tabloids, is now facing explosive allegations of dishonesty, fraud, and conspiracy. We are talking about forged documents, witness intimidation, and alliances with convicted criminals. Harry thinks he can negotiate his way back to the throne. But King Charles has reportedly seen enough. In the next few minutes, we will expose the contents of Harry's secret peace dossier and reveal why Prince William has initiated the Grey Rock strategy to freeze his brother out forever. The king has issued his final warning. The door is not just closed, it is bolted. Do not click away, you need to see the evidence that could strip Harry of everything. To understand why King Charles is reportedly so furious, we have to look inside the mind of the Duke of Sussex. What we are witnessing is not a negotiation between statesmen. According to royal commentators, Prince Harry is behaving like an immature teenager that is still throwing one big, epic tantrum. He is reportedly delusional enough to believe that he can dictate terms to a 1,000-year-old institution. Sources indicate that Harry has not given up on his half-in, half-out dream. This week, his camp launched a media blitz, floating the idea that Harry is ready to step in as a royal reserve player. The pitch is simple. I will come back to help out with royal jobs while my father and sister-in-law are recovering. Friends of the prince have leaked that despite his Californian lifestyle, he secretly misses the structure, the hierarchy, and the meaning that royal life once imposed on him. He misses the salute. He misses the VIP lanes. He has realized that in Hollywood, you are only as good as your last hit movie. But in Windsor, you are important simply because you exist. Harry seemingly believes that the royal family is desperate. He looks at the health crises facing King Charles and the Princess of Wales and thinks, they need me. But this kite-flying exercise testing the waters to see if the king will bend has reliably triggered deep anxiety inside the palace. Why? Because the Royal Reserve model is a Trojan horse. You cannot have a working royal who is also signing commercial deals with Netflix and selling family secrets to the highest bidder. The late Queen Elizabeth II made this crystal clear at the Sandringham Summit. You are either in or you are out. However, Harry is simply not listening. He refuses to accept the fact that his father has made it very clear that this hybrid role will not happen. And the biggest obstacle standing in his way isn't even the king. It is Prince William. Sources close to the Prince of Wales suggest that the very idea of Harry returning to help is laughable to William. William views this half-in model not as a helping hand, but as a toxic infection. The last thing William wants is a revival of the drama that nearly tore the family apart. Let's be honest about the power dynamics here. Harry thinks he is the savior returning to the rescue, but the palace views him as a liability they have already written off. Insider whispers suggest a brutal sentiment echoing through the corridors of Kensington Palace. We would rather work double shifts for the rest of our lives than let him back in for a single day. They don't want his help. They want his silence. But Harry isn't just offering his services out of the goodness of his heart. There is a darker leverage at play here. He is using a legal ceasefire as a bargaining chip. He is essentially saying, "Give me my job back, and I will stop suing the press." It sounds like a compromise, but to the king, it looks a lot like a threat. So, what exactly is in this peace dossier that Harry has floated across the Atlantic? According to reports outlined by Harry and his allies in a bombshell U.S. Weekly cover story, the Duke has made a specific pledge to royal expert Tom Sykes. The offer is stark. Harry, as part of his concession to the king, promises that he will not launch any new legal actions against the UK press. On the surface, this sounds like a ceasefire. It sounds like a son trying to protect his father from further embarrassment. But here at Legacy's Edge, we don't look at the surface, we look at the strategy. When you strip away the PR language, this is not a concession. This is blackmail. Harry is effectively engaging in a protection racket with his own family. The subtext of his message to King Charles is chillingly clear. Give me my uniform back, give me my security back, and I will stop dragging the family name through the High Court. Conversely, the threat remains. Refuse me, and the war continues. For years, Harry's legal crusade has been a thorn in the side of the monarchy. Every time he sues a newspaper, he isn't just fighting for his own privacy. He is dragging the institution into the witness box. He forces the palace to release documents. He generates headlines about royal secrets, and he keeps the drama alive when the king is desperate for peace. Harry knows that King Charles refuses to end his dream of a half-in, half-out return simply because the king hates conflict. Harry is banking on his father's exhaustion. He thinks that if he promises silence, the king will pay the price of admission. But there is a fatal flaw in Harry's blackmail attempt, and insiders say the palace has spotted it immediately. The offer is hollow. As critics have pointed out, Harry claiming he won't sue any new media outlets is meaningless because he sued pretty much all of the big main media organizations already. He is running out of enemies to fight. It's like an arsonist promising not to start any new fires after he has already burned down the entire village. The damage is done. The bridges are ash. Furthermore, this pledge reveals the transactional nature of Harry's relationship with his duty. True service to the crown is unconditional. You serve because it is your duty, not because you expect a reward. By attaching conditions to his behavior, I will be good. If you give me a job, Harry proves exactly why he cannot be trusted. He is treating the monarchy like a business deal. He is negotiating with his heritage as if it were a Netflix contract. King Charles, a man who has spent decades navigating the treacherous waters of British politics, is not easily fooled. He knows that inviting Harry back as a royal reserve based on a threat would set a dangerous precedent. If he gives in now, what will Harry demand next year? What happens when the money runs out again? The kite flying of this idea raises the possibility that Harry thinks the king is weak enough to be persuaded. But the silence from Buckingham Palace is deafening. They know that Harry's sudden desire to make peace isn't about saving the monarchy. It's about saving himself. Because while Harry is busy trying to blackmail the king, a much darker cloud is gathering over his own head. He isn't just fighting the press anymore. He is fighting for his freedom. And the methods he has used to wage this dirty war are about to be exposed in a way that could destroy his reputation forever. While Harry is busy offering peace treaties to his father, the king is reportedly looking at the battlefield Harry has created, and he is disgusted. We have moved beyond simple family drama. We have entered the realm of what legal experts are calling a dirty war. Harry claims he is on a crusade to clean up the British media, to slay the dragons of misinformation. But to fight this war, the Duke of Sussex has reportedly descended into the murky swamp himself, aligning with characters so nefarious that it threatens to stain the royal crest forever. The latest reports from the High Court are nothing short of explosive. Harry's own legal team, the people representing a prince of the realm, have been accused of dishonesty, fraud, and conspiracy. These are not words you associate with royalty. These are words you associate with organized crime. The allegations include payments for sworn evidence and the deliberate creation of a misleading email chain. It suggests that in his desperation to win, Harry's camp may have crossed the line from aggressive litigation to potential criminal conduct. The most terrifying example involves a key witness named Gavin Burrows, a private investigator. Burrows was supposed to be Harry's star witness, the man who would bring down the Daily Mail. But in a shocking twist, Burrows has turned. He now claims that a key witness statement bearing his name was a forgery. He alleges that his signature was faked. Even worse, Burrows claims he has been subjected to a blatant attempt to intimidate him on the eve of the trial. The situation has become so volatile that his lawyers stated Burrows fears for his safety and wants to give evidence remotely from a concealed location. Think about that for a moment. A witness in a case involving Prince Harry is reportedly hiding in a safe house because he is terrified of the tactics being used against him. This brings us to a moment of reflection on the state of truth and integrity in our world today. It is easy to get lost in the noise of these high-stakes battles, but we must remember that character still counts. Before we reveal the identity of the convicted criminal Harry is actually paying, I want to pause and send my warmest regards to you. I hope that wherever you are, you and your loved ones are safe, happy, and in good health. I am truly curious to know where our community is tuning in from today. Are you watching from the historic streets of London, the sunny coasts of Australia, or perhaps a quiet town in the American Midwest? Please, formally state your city and country in the comments below. It is a privilege to have you with us on this journey for the truth. Now, let's look at the company Harry keeps. While he preaches from his ivory tower about moral corruption in the press, he is actively working with the very people he claims to despise. Reports have confirmed that Harry's legal team engaged Graham Johnson, a man who is a convicted phone hacker and a former journalist for the disgraced News of the World. This isn't an allegation, it is a fact. Johnson is a man with a criminal record for invading privacy. Yet, Harry's team reportedly put this convicted criminal on a monthly retainer of £5,000 plus expenses to dig up dirt. The irony is suffocating. Prince Harry, the man who says the press destroyed his life through hacking and intrusion, is paying a convicted phone hacker to win his case. He has aligned himself with organizations like Byline Times, which critics have labeled a truly corrupted organization accused of conspiring to destroy reputations. He is relying on actual criminals to fight his battles. As one commentator brutally noted, Harry is now in the mud with the pigs. He has traded his royal dignity for a win at any cost. This is the dirty war that King Charles refuses to support. The king knows that you cannot claim to be a champion of ethics while paying thousands of pounds to men with criminal records. Harry thinks he is a warrior. The palace thinks he has lost his moral compass. And as the court date approaches, the contrast between Harry's dark alliances and the rest of the royal family could not be starker. While Harry digs in the dirt, his brother William is reaching for the sky quite literally. To fully understand the devastation of Prince Harry's position, we must look away from the gloomy courtrooms of London and turn our eyes to the bright, open fields where the future of the monarchy is actually operating. While Harry was reportedly dragging the family name through the mud with allegations of fraud and conspiracy, the Prince and Princess of Wales were executing a masterclass in what we call the strategic contrast. They didn't release a statement. They didn't hire a lawyer. They simply went to work. The contrast between the two brothers could hardly have been sharper. While Harry returned to the High Court to continue his long-running, bitter war with the British press, Prince William was photographed doing something incredibly grounding. He was pruning trees on a farm visit, wearing a simple flat cap. This image is powerful. On one side, you have a prince obsessed with his truth, relying on phone hackers and legal tricks. On the other, you have the future king, hands in the dirt, highlighting the work of the farming community people who are often forgotten. William is showing that duty is about serving others, not serving subpoenas. He is dealing with real life. Harry is dealing with old grudges. And then there is Catherine, the Princess of Wales. If William brought the grounding, Catherine brought the effortless glamour. She hosted a full-fat Windsor Castle reception for the British women's rugby team, the Red Roses, who won the World Cup. But it wasn't just the event that made headlines. It was her demeanor. Observers noted a stunning detail. The Princess of Wales drove herself to Windsor Castle. She stepped out wearing a sharp Alexander McQueen suit and stilettos, an iconic look. But what truly captured the heart of the public was the simplicity. She was seen casually walking in with a brolly, an umbrella in hand. There were no airs and graces, no drama. She was just graceful, kind, sweet, and sporting a big grin on her face. This is the Grey Rock method in action. For those unfamiliar with the term, the Grey Rock strategy is a psychological method used to deal with narcissists or drama seekers. You become as uninteresting and unresponsive as a gray rock. You do not feed the drama. You simply exist, solid and unbothered. William and Catherine have effectively turned into granite. Tom Sykes noted that they flooded the zone with keep calm and carry on vibes. They refused to be distracted from their duties by Harry's controversial court case. By engaging with the Red Roses and the farmers, they sent a silent message. We are busy celebrating champions and workers. You are busy hanging out with criminals. The brilliance of this strategy is that it renders Harry irrelevant. Harry thrives on conflict. He needs a reaction to fuel his narrative of victimhood. But William and Catherine don't even seem to care about him anymore. They are indifferent to him. They have shown the world that they never needed Harry and Meghan. As one commentator brutally put it, Harry and Meghan are now insignificant. They were barely in the royal family long enough to scratch the surface. Harry's entire working royal career was only about 2 years full-time before Meghan arrived. They are becoming little more than an ink blot in the history pages. This indifference is the ultimate punishment. The King and the Prince of Wales don't need to issue a denial about Harry's peace dossier or his legal threats. Their schedule is their denial. Harry is fighting a dirty war in the mud, hoping someone will notice him. But the royal family is standing on the castle ramparts, looking right past him. However, while the royals are safe in their indifference, Harry is not safe in his courtroom, because the dirty war he started is about to hand him a poisoned chalice. The legal tactics he used to attack the press are now boomeranging back to hit him, and the consequences could be far worse than just losing a lawsuit. Prince Harry entered this legal battle believing he was wielding the sword of truth. But as we approach the final act of this courtroom drama, it appears he has unwittingly drunk from a poisoned chalice. He intended to put the British press on trial. Instead, he has put his own integrity on the stand. And the verdict, regardless of what the judge decides, could cost him far more than legal fees. It could cost him his remaining link to the crown. The danger facing Harry is not just about losing a lawsuit. It is about the catastrophic nature of the allegations leveled against his team. We must be precise here. Harry's lawyers have been accused of dishonesty, fraud, and conspiracy by the Daily Mail's legal team. These are not minor procedural errors. These are accusations that strike at the very heart of the judicial system. The opposition argues that Harry's case relies on misleading email chains and payments for evidence. If a judge finds that Harry knowingly or unknowingly benefited from forged documents or witness intimidation, the fallout will be nuclear. Consider the case of Gavin Burrows, the private investigator. Harry's team relied on his testimony to build their case, but now Burrows claims his signature on a critical witness statement was forged. He alleges that the evidence Harry is presenting is fake. If this is proven true, the case is built on sand. It collapses instantly. But the debris from that collapse will land directly on Harry's head. You cannot claim to be a victim of unlawful information gathering while simultaneously relying on what appears to be unlawful evidence gathering. This brings us to the terrifying prospect of the perjury trap. Harry is expected to take the stand. As our source Dan Wooten pointed out, one lie, Harry, and you're a perjurer. In the UK, perjury is a criminal offense that carries a prison sentence. Harry's truth has often differed from the truth. But in a court of law, my truth is not a legal defense. He will be cross-examined by some of the most ruthless forensic lawyers in the world. They will tear apart every inconsistency, every memory lapse, and every contradiction in his memoir versus his testimony. The royals know his limitations. They know how intellectually weak he can be under pressure. They are reportedly terrified that he will perjure himself on the global stage, dragging the monarchy into a criminal investigation. This legal disaster leads to the ultimate consequence: the constitutional crisis. This is the part the mainstream media misses, but Legacy's Edge is here to expose. Prince Harry currently remains a Counselor of State, one of the few senior royals authorized to stand in for the king if he is incapacitated. This role requires absolute integrity and a clean legal standing. If Harry is associated with a court case involving fraud, dishonesty, and professional misconduct, his position becomes untenable. How can the king allow a man accused of conspiring with criminals and relying on forged documents to act as his deputy? This is the poisoned chalice Harry has brewed for himself. He wanted to use the courts to force his father's hand, to prove he was a hero fighting dragons. Instead, he has revealed himself to be a man willing to get in the mud with the pigs. He has aligned himself with convicted phone hackers like Graham Johnson to destroy his enemies. He has become the very thing he swore to destroy: a manipulator of the truth who invades privacy for personal gain. The king's refusal to meet him isn't just personal, it is protective. Charles knows that Harry is now radioactive. Any association with him, while these fraud allegations are swirling, would contaminate the crown. Harry thought this lawsuit would be his victory lap. Instead, it looks like it might be his political funeral. And as the walls close in, we have to ask, when the judge delivers the final word, will there be anything left of the Duke of Sussex to save? As the heavy oak doors of Buckingham Palace bolt shut, we are left with a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. Prince Harry gambled everything on a dirty war and a secret peace dossier. He thought he could blackmail the king into submission with threats of legal action. He thought he could reclaim his spot as a royal reserve by promising a ceasefire. But he forgot the most fundamental rule of power. You cannot negotiate with the crown when your hands are dirty.